All right, today we are diving into one of China's most celebrated and epic classical plays, The Palace of Eternal Life. And let me tell you, this is a story that has everything. It weaves together an emperor's incredible, all-consuming love with the absolutely tragic downfall of his empire. It really gets you thinking about that collision between personal passion and public duty. So let's get right into it.
At the very heart of this drama is this single, incredibly high-stakes question. What happens when a love story so powerful it could define an entire era just runs headfirst into a rebellion that brings that whole era crashing down? You know, to really get the tragedy, we first have to understand the paradise that was lost. Our story kicks off right in the middle of China's golden age, the magnificent Tang Dynasty.
I want you to just picture this for a second. An empire at the absolute peak of its power. This was the Tang Dynasty under Emperor Xuanzong. A world of just unparalleled splendor. Culture was exploding, and they were bursting with confidence. This is the dazzling stage where our story, the one immortalized by the playwright Hong Sheng, is set. And into this world of imperial grandeur steps Lady Yang Yuhuan. Her beauty was the stuff of legends. Literally, they said it could topple nations. And, well, she immediately captures the emperor's heart.
And here's what's really wild, the sheer scale of the emperor's affection. Okay, so the imperial palace housed 3,000 court ladies. 3,000! Yet all of his attention, all of his devotion was laser-focused on this one woman. The entire court basically became a non-stop party in her honor, full of songs and dance and celebration.
Now, their love was this huge, public spectacle. But its most important, most sacred moment was a private vow, a promise they made for all of eternity.
So it's the night of the Qixi Festival, which is a big deal. It's a celebration of celestial lovers in Chinese mythology. Emperor Xuanzong and Lady Yang meet in the Palace of Eternal Life. And right there, under a sky packed with stars, they make a vow that would seriously echo through history. And this was their vow. In heaven, to be two birds flying wing to wing. On earth, to be two trees with branches intertwined. It's this beautiful promise of being completely inseparable, you know? A love that's meant to go way beyond just a single lifetime. And this pledge, it becomes the absolute sacred heart of their whole story.
But of course, no paradise lasts forever. While the emperor was totally lost in love, the foundations of his empire started to crack. And pretty soon, that whole golden age was just shattered by the flames of rebellion.
And the way it all fell apart, it was shockingly fast. I mean, 1 minute, everything's perfect, the next, bam! In 755 AD, this powerful general, An Lushan, rebels. The court is thrown into total chaos. And just 1 year later, that's it, 1 year, the emperor and Lady Yang are forced to flee the capital, which leads directly to the story's most tragic, terrible moment.
So as they're trying to escape, the emperor's own army just hits a breaking point. The soldiers are angry, they're resentful, and they're looking for someone, anyone, to blame. And they focus all that rage on Lady Yang and her powerful family, totally convinced they're the reason the empire's in shambles.
The soldiers mutinied. They just stopped their march and delivered an ultimatum. They forced the emperor into an absolutely impossible choice. They demanded the death of the woman he loved, and in exchange, they'd give him their loyalty. So, what's it going to be? His love or his throne? And this all goes down at this desolate little outpost called Mawei Slope. And it's here that the emperor, completely powerless against his own men, makes the heartbreaking decision. He orders the death of Lady Yang, the dream of their eternal love. And really, the dream of the Tang Golden Age, it dies right there with her.
So in the history books, the story ends right there, in tragedy. But in the play, oh no, this is not the final act. The playwright takes us somewhere else entirely, beyond mortal life itself.
After he gets back to the capital, the emperor is just a broken man. The palace, which used to be filled with so much joy and music, becomes this quiet, sorrowful place. His whole life just turns into this endless cycle of haunting memories in this deep, unending regret. And this, right here, is where you really see the power of art. The playwright, Hong Sheng, he couldn't change history, obviously, but what he could do was offer a different kind of ending. Now, it's super important to remember that Hong Sheng wrote this centuries later, during the Qing Dynasty, a time when a lot of people were looking back with nostalgia at the lost glory of the Tang. So this supernatural last act, it isn't just fantasy. It's a really powerful artistic choice.
It's a way to reclaim a tragic history and give it this beautiful, transcendent meaning.
So the grieving emperor gets a Taoist priest and gives him a mission: find Lady Yang's spirit. So this priest goes on this incredible journey, searching through the heavens and the underworld. And eventually, he finds her. She's become an immortal spirit living in the Moon Palace. And in this ethereal, otherworldly realm, they're finally reunited, proving that their love was, in fact, stronger than death itself.
So, why has this story, this mix of historical fact and literary fantasy, why has it captivated audiences for centuries? What is its lasting power?
Well, it's because it's about so much more than just a tragic romance. It's a deep reflection on how cruel history can be, and the whims of fate. It shows us that even the most powerful emperor on Earth is ultimately powerless against the tides of destiny. And in the end, it's a timeless symbol of a love so strong it can literally reach beyond the grave.
And so we come back to this vow, that central promise. In the end, this is the ultimate takeaway. An empire fell, lives were lost, but the simple, powerful promise of eternal union, it managed to outlast it all.
So the play leaves us with this final, lingering thought. In a world full of chaos, rebellion, and loss, can a promise, a simple vow between two people, truly be strong enough to conquer even death and disaster? The legend of the Palace of Eternal Life suggests that maybe, just maybe, it can.